Just so I don't forget this guy's name. Tim Jennings, Hitting the Brain Center. That's the title of his YouTube video. Tim Jennings, J with a J, Jennings, Hitting the Brain Center. And that was put up by Kirsten W. That's her YouTube channel. Kristenw. Small caps. Okay. This is the reason I'm doing this is because this is sort of reinforcement, or like a bidirectional mirror, right? It's like an echo chamber. Hey man, you're echoing the same thing I am saying. We're echoing each other. See? Now I didn't even watch this video because, quite honestly, I don't need to do that. Okay? Because I work for the girl on the planet. Okay? And I am one of her teachers. Okay? Now whether this guy is one of her teachers, I don't know. I don't know his soul. I don't know his spirit. I don't know if he's native tribe or clan. I'm White Bear Clan. That's native to the planet. We're brought in here to be the teachers, the peacekeepers, and the healers here. So I don't know his identity function. What is he here for? Why is he, how do I put this, putting this information up? Now we're back to the morphogenetic field structure, which means that the speed of the communication between where I can be anywhere on the planet, excuse me, at any one given moment of time. And by the way, as a sidebar, when I cough like that, that's an example of really what COVID is, okay? Which means that my lungs are having to kick out junk, okay? What is that junk? Dead cells. And how are those cells being destroyed? Wi-Fi, dirty electricity, all the toxic contamination that is on this planet as a result of reptiles, fear-based beings. They're not love-based beings, okay? Which is, as I previously stated, the mammal side of things that have creative imagination, create your own reality. So when you're running on the highest density consciousness energy, which is the highest speed you can, you create and experience what you create and experience for yourself. You're running creation energy, okay? So anyway, she put that up, and then I posted my own commentary to it. So let's cut to the chase. He can cover a 2-hour seminar that I can put in 2 paragraphs. That means the same thing, okay? That's the speed of the transmission. And the reason that's important, and I'll share this with you because this is how it works. The more pieces of information that represent data that is linked to, say, 1,000,000 terabytes, a gazillion terabytes of information, which means everything that I'm aware of that is in my library, which represents everything that I experienced that I recorded here. You can measure in, actually you can't measure it in what I'm aware of because it's beyond that. It's beyond the library of this planet, actually, because we're connected to that much light in which all that data is held, which would be the sum of all the experiences that every consciousness has experienced at any one given time. Do that calculation, then you begin to understand where my vortex is at. Okay? So when somebody gets up there and spends 2 hours, okay, one of the importance, when you're going to convey information that you're holding in your mind, in memory, and now what you're going to do is basically spit it out to a group of people in a seminar, okay? It's like saying, how long does it take you in bits and bytes of information that are traveling at a certain level of speed in which his mind is traveling, which means the wave vibration that is represented by the presenter of the information. What is the speed at which you're traveling at that speed to communicate to others how much data that you're using to explain what that data is, so that the data that you're presenting is now known by the receivers. Remember, the stereo transmitter and the stereo receiver. Okay? So, for example, I could give you 3 pieces of information, and that's it. And then in your mind, you're connected to a gazillion terabytes of information that just linked it together, which means I don't need to cover in 2 hours what I know that all I have to say in one sentence that will put all the other information that it takes him 2 hours to cover that you already are now aware of. See how that works? That means you're putting the puzzle together at a faster rate of speed. The faster the rate of speed at which you're putting puzzle pieces together, the higher the speed in which you're using in your light to put it together. So now we get into the speed of the transmission, or the speed of the communicator, which means being able to identify the frequency, the core frequency identity of the soul that is presenting the data. Okay? So this is one of the reasons why when high-speed transmitters, which are your neurotransmitters, are communicating information in the grid like I do every morning, then I know that all that data of what it is that I'm experiencing at the moment I'm experiencing in order to put it into the morphogenetic field structure. That will raise the state of awareness of every unit of consciousness in this morphogenetic field structure. That's why we're doing it. We're trying to wake everybody up, as many as we can, because I knew this when I was a child crying buckets of tears. At the end of the day, how many are we going to lose and how many come with us? Depends on how many we can wake up. So now we know we're in a speed contest right now, because we realize that this timeline, which is time and no time, the collapse of the clock is accelerating at an enormous rate of speed. So we got to kick the data out as fast as we possibly can through the morphogenetic field structure to wake up as many people as we can to move from the reptile to the mammal. Wow, I'm not held captive by fear anymore. No. Now I know how it all works, of course. I remember who I am. I'm the mammal, not the reptile. Yeah, wow. I was held captive to fear, but I'm not what fear is. I am what love is. That's a mammal. I'm running on my mammal brain. Wow, through my heart and my soul. Bang, you're with us. Now you shift. Bye, third dimension. We're not going to miss you. We're not going to miss you, reptiles. We're not going to miss you, reptiles. We're not going to miss you, predators. Okay? Which means once we're back home to what love is, you're gone. There's no reason to live in fear because love is the absence of fear, which is the absence of a reptile. Okay? That's what it boils down to. That's why things are speeding up. That's why you've got more people that are putting this information up, is to wake up as many people as you can. And I'm around every day watching people that are still stuck, putting all their time into their phone and things that they're not connecting to, kind of meaning they're not connecting to the higher speed transmission of that data to put this together to wake the mammal brain up, realize who we are, to separate the herd, which essentially means separating the reptile from the mammals. Okay? An example of that, and this is something I felt was important to mention because I thought it a little bit ago, the Indians, the native Indians on this planet, whose genetics have not been compromised. I'm AB positive bloodline. That means RH factor positive, which means I run on this, my mammal brain, the neo, the limbic, okay? But I'm not the neo brain. I just use it. So when I realize that I am living spirit, the living spirit that is in this avatar with analog consciousness knows that when I'm living through my heart, which is where all the love is, which is where all the light is, which is the fire that is in my soul, is lighting all my circuits up on both sides of the higher brain, which means the creativity on the right side, which is the female side. You got the left side, which is the male side, which protects the female side. That's the birth giver side of creation, isn't it? Because all you have to do is look at a herd of elephants. Everybody follows what? The matriarch. Why the matriarch? Because she's the birth giver. She knows because she's going to protect that herd because it came out of her. So there's usually one matriarch out of that herd, just like there is in any group of primates, just like there is in any group of bears, just like there is in any group of mammals like dolphins. Okay? They know things. They know things before they happen. That means they have an enormous amount of empathy and love for everything they give birth to. So they know before others know. If there's anything out there that they have to be aware of that might be a threat to what she gives birth to, she's going to protect it. So she's going to take the herd where the herd is protected, huh? That's called the matriarch. That's why the Indians defend and protect the matriarch, because she's the birth giver. You lose the birth giver, there goes your species. That's why we honor the first mother of every species, because we give love to every life that comes out of the birth canal, which means we give love to all life, which is living spirit in the cosmos. So we honor the birth giver. We honor the mother. That's why we honor, defend, and protect what the goddess in this planet represents to us because of what she gives all of us here on this planet, which is free energy. That's why I've said many times before, when you heard her, you heard us. Okay, because I can feel that pain in me every time they drill a hole 1,000 feet down into the planet. They hurt the girl in the planet. Okay? So they're taking out her energy in order to do what? Make things that they then sell back to us, going into jobs that they create for us, train us as human resource to go work for their corporations, which are parasites. Parasiting off of all of us, including her. And that's forbidden. Because they ruined a hospital zone that was meant to be a healing center for those that have suffered trauma, not to become a trauma center. Okay? So you got to sort of put this together, okay, and figure it out at some point, because if we're still living in the lower density consciousness of fear-based experiences, which represent the reptile brain, that timeline is collapsing. And I know that it is accelerating at a very high rate of speed because I get prompted within me, it's time to move, it's time to move. Okay, which means I'm getting time to get rid of this phone, and I got to be in a place where the energies are with her, where I'm feeling her every single day with so much power, I'm going to start writing love letters to her to thank her for everything that she gives us in this planet. And I didn't even notice my fingers are going like this. That's right, that's the spin of the top. How fast are you going? How fast is your light? How fast the transmission speed of the data that you're experiencing to move and shift to what love is? Right? So anyway, I thought I'd share that because this is beautiful to experience this, because I'm realizing that there are others that are experiencing how this works so they can learn from that. The more people are experiencing what they're learning, how this works, if you will, the difference between the reptile and the mammal brain, then you can begin to look in the mirror and go, yeah, why am I in fear of myself? You're in fear of the mammal brain that you have. How's that possible? Because you got a reptile brain in you that they put there that doesn't belong there. How'd they do that? Hybrids. Okay? A mammal is not a reptile. You don't see mammals being part reptile and mammal in nature, do you? No, you don't. 2 species in one? Really? That doesn't even include all the other Frankenstein experiments they do on this planet, like trying to put a pig's head on top of a human shoulder instead of one of these. That's why everything that they do here with genetics is Frankenstein, and it's forbidden. That's why it all has to be collapsed, and it is. Okay? So anyway, have a beautiful day. If that helps to impart some knowledge to sort of, how do I put this? Bang, wow, yeah. And hey, then it means that what you're learning and what I'm experiencing are somewhat running at the same speed in which all of that information is traveling through the circuits that are connected with everybody here. Circuits, the veins, the arteries, the plasma, the circuits to the brain, the neurotransmitters. The biggest, most powerful neurotransmitters are in your heart. When you're running a lot of juice, a lot of electrical juice that's not held captive. Remember, energy that is not held captive? Now you can blow through the circuits on both sides, both hemispheres of the higher brain, the higher functionality, the higher imagination, the higher creativity, that the heart is burning through all the higher circuits, okay? That puts the reptile brain dormant. 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 You're not in fear anymore. You realize who you are. You realize what happened. Okay? We're leaving the predators. Goodbye. You're done feeding on our light, which is a mammal. Mammals are love-based, which is light-based, not fear-based in darkness. Have a great day. I love you all. Be good to yourselves. Remember, to thine own self be true. Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. Great stories. There's actually truth in everything, including the Bible. There is a lot of truth in that book.